For example, uh, if I try to inject the amount of if I am trying to inject the data related to the kind of water pressure which has to be there when I am trying to keep my hand. Okay, based on the amount of gravy which my hand is having, the water tap will be able to regulate its speed. So in this case, we call it as machine learning because I am already feeding the system that okay, based on this amount of dust which is on your hand, you have to regulate this flow. Whereas artificial intelligence has much bigger criteria. Like for example, if it has the ability to distinguish between the amount of the kind of dish which you had in the dinner, based
how
on that,
oily it is,
yeah,
how much water.
so when you are bringing that human intelligence element also into the picture, that is the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning. So now, what are the steps in machine learning we will study, and then we will go to this one. And then again, in artificial intelligence, we are having two types of data. One is parametric approach, and second one is non-parametric approach. Here we are trying to use parametric approach in order to get the solution. What is parametric approach? In the previous Excel sheet which we had seen, the outcome CTC is equal to beta naught, which Mahendra Shukla sir might have told you in business research methods.
Yes.
So y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 beta 2 x2. This is general regression equation.
Variables, X1,
Which
Variables.
and this is called non-parametric approach. For example, if these are the dots, okay, and I need to keep a cloth which is very close to all these dots, I don't use this regression model. I generally use some artificial intelligence to place a cloth which is nearest to all these points. So that's the difference between non-parametric approach as well as parametric approach. Then we have few things like supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is generally, how many of you have seen this web series called Young Sheldon? Yeah, Young Sheldon, if you see the later end when they are trying to depict the machine learning algorithms in 92, 93, when he goes to the university, the machine itself starts learning the prediction of share values. It comes under unsupervised learning. Whereas supervised learning is here we are giving some input and we are coming out with some outputs. Now, anything else we need to discuss? Yeah, these are the steps in which we try to use machine learning models. The first one is problem formulation. Here our problem statement is trying to predict the salary of a fresher who comes into an organization. The next one is data tidying. So we generally get loads and loads of data in HR department, but when we are trying to train a model, we are always supposed to clean the data. That is called data tidying process. Then called pre-processing. Pre-processing is trying to do coding because machine learning always tries to take digits, numerical digits. It generally generally doesn't take values which are strings. So that's why we have to pre-process the data. Then the next part is to split the data into training data and test data, and finally we have to build a model and we have to validate the model accuracy, and finally we have to do the prediction. Validation and model can be done using different softwares. For example, your seniors, they used softwares like PLSSEM. Mahendra Shukla sir helped them in doing analysis in their projects. And even you must have done this model validation using a software called SPSS. And our project doesn't need SPSS. Yeah, we need SPSS also because we will be doing logistic regression. So by Monday, by the next class, everyone please install SPSS.
We have.
You already have, then it's fine. Now, everyone open this Excel sheet. Copy this entire data. Control Shift down arrow. Now, task is to convert this entire data into numerical data. Now, the first one is the college. How do I code the colleges?
Tier 1 is 1, Tier 2 is 2, Tier 3 is 3.
Yeah, we can do that, but it takes a lot of energy to have 3 different categories. Instead, I can actually do it using 2 categories. How do I do it? Where is this pen? How do I do it? See, what Sarthak is telling is I will keep Tier 1 as 1 and Tier 2 as 2 and Tier 3 as 3. Okay, but it's always better to have data in terms of binary instead of having it in terms of numericals, because when you say 1 2 3, then obviously it doesn't it takes the face value of 1 2 3 instead of taking the actual value. So instead what I can do is I can have 100 as tier 1 college, and what can be for tier 2?
1010
010, and for tier 3?
001.
001. Or alternatively, I can just have these values also. I can remove the last column. Even these represent tier 1, tier 2, and tier
1, 2,
tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 can be represented using these denominations. So
So
now,
now data and paste it in another sheet.
what?
Should we paste anything in the new?
Yeah. Copy entire data and paste it into a new sheet.
Okay, so we have to resort.
And everyone, please download a software called Loom, because last time, including Paras, I think everyone failed in this exercise. All of them got 0 in the final exam.
So what is the name?
LOOM, Loom Video. Or you can directly record this particular screen as well, but it's better to use Loom because you can watch that video.
So we'll download it now.
No. Download it in the next class. Record all the exercises, because
There is
you
no
will
So
have
specifically
liberty to
download
use
it.
those videos in the exam hall.
Say
also.
LOOM, no?
Loom.
There is no software like that.
I have video recording. Atlassian
Loop है
नहीं Loom LOOM.
How come you always come with rebellion ideas and rebellion answers? Okay, now we will start coding. So can I start coding?
Yes, sir.
Do it from
Insert
Chrome.
any
Just
row.
type Loom on Chrome and leave it.
Now everyone forget about Loom. Do it tomorrow and be ready for the next Wednesday's class. But right now, insert a column next to college.
Yeah.
Write the logic as is equal to if this particular value is equal to inverted commas TIER space 1 comma 1 comma 0. Now here, last time when this exam was there, apart from 1 2 students, everyone failed in this code, because if you don't write space between tier and 1, you are gone. Your entire solution will go for a toss. If you don't keep inverted commas, again it will go for a toss. So you keep writing these codes and finally you will get some value. That value will eventually become 0, because that value will eventually become wrong, because even a small mistake which is happening in these steps in terms of writing the code will determine your final answer.
So there is a space between tier and
There
one.
is tier space.
Tier and one, na?
हाँ, दोनों के बीच space. If you lose this one step, or instead of writing TIER, if you write TEIR, even that, I think everyone did all possible kind of mistakes in the final exam, and they lost 10 marks. So there is no consolation prizes.
Final
It's
exam
brutal.
will be in Excel.
Yes.
हाँ.
All final exam, every question is on Excel. So it's like either you
Last
get
time
first
Power
prize or you
BI
get consolation prize. There is no consolation prize. Either you get first prize or you are eliminated.
If it's right, if it's wrong.
That's it.
So what is the answer in this?
Yeah. So now enter
1.
1. So if you cross check wherever it is tier 2, you are getting 0. Now again I am inserting.
Control shift down.
Okay. Now, write the next formula, which is equal to if
अच्छा ये we'll do it in a different column.
yes.
Same column.
No, you cannot do. See, we wrote three codes now. See, to distinguish. Oh, sorry. To distinguish between these three colleges, tier 1, tier 2, three colleges, we can either write 1000
Okay, if it's it
0, 1,
matches the
0.
value, then it's what?
and the third one is 001.
Okay, understood.
Else you can remove this entire column. And if you remove this entire column, how do I identify a tier 3 college?
Zero.
0, 0.
0, 0. So either you can go for 3 columns, that's your wish, but it's unnecessary effort. Now, tell me what can be the logic in the second column?
If
If
tier 2,
then
it will be 1
yes.
0.
So this particular
If it is
college
tier
value
one.
is equal to again TIER space 2 1. Okay. If B2 is equal to tier space 2 comma 1 comma 0. Done? If B2 is equal to
So for the first one, we did 0, 1.
same 1 comma 0. But first one we kept tier 1, second one we kept tier 2. Now click on this diagonal element is there. Now if you click there, it will just incorporate to the whole column. Now everyone please write down in your notebooks. Please cross check these values for at least 2, 3. For example, here I am having tier 3, it is coming 0, 0. Here tier 2 you are getting 0, 1. And here you are getting tier 1, 1, 0. Ensure that these values are there before going to the next step, because there is no point of doing the other steps if you are not cross checking these values. So please write down in your notebook to cross check these values once you are done with this coding of tier 1 and tier 2.
We can write in the heading tier 1.
Yeah, you can write T1 or you can just write CC1, CC2, college code 1, college code. Some values.
Same CC3. 3 will be 0, ना sir, anyway.
तो लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now you will go to the next one called role. And the other mistake which most of the students did is copy pasting the formulas from the existing sheets which are already there in the class.
Okay.
Because the data
Cells
sheet
alag.
which I will give in the final exam will be having different columns. And if you copy paste these columns, the entire solution will go for a toss. So please write down all these possible mistakes, because this is the activity which most of the HRs will be doing in real time once they go there. Yes. Insert again one more blank column there.
If that is the bracket C after roll. If
Yes.
B2 bracket done. If B2 what is it B2? नीचे वाला है.
There is no chance that someone can feel sleepy in this class, but even if someone is feeling, then you can stand and do also. There is no problem.
Sir
No.
आप sleepy feel कर रहे हैं.
If this particular value manager is equal to
Tier
MANAGER, again
done.
spelling has to be.
One.
If this particular value is equal to manager, then it will be 1, else 0.
Comma. 1 comma
Yeah,
0.
formula.
यही मैं आप इसी का सेकंड इधर वाला जो है उसमें वर्ड्स को फिल करना है.
Now, after doing all these
देख,
logistic
यहाँ पे
representations,
वाले
and
जैसे
everything, then
इसके
you
बारे
find
में
the
इसमें
problems which you need to get much easier ones.
यहाँ बगल में ना एक
This is for managers. Similarly, you have to do for executive.
नहीं करने की जरूरत नहीं है, executive
0 आएगा, हाँ. Oh, the 2 roll ही है. Similarly for city type we can.
पहला ही वाला D2
Hmm.
equals to
Click here, it will auto-populate.
City type भी करूँ क्या? Same.
So for exterior it shows
Tier
no,
two?
so we don't have to write if
वही
exterior is-
देखो अब एक
अच्छा
space apostrophe close comma 1 comma 0
one comma zero. So metro would be zero.
Your wish.
So one second. अच्छा third we need to insert third column.
सिटी की टाइप के बाद ही.
अच्छा
Equal to if this particular city type is equal to metro. For me, I am writing metro because it's easy to type instead of writing the whole thing. Comma 1, comma.
देख ले easy है भाई.
It doesn't matter whether you type metro 1 or non-metro 1. Both students will get the same answer at the end.
So irrespective of giving
Yeah.
Same,
zero or
same.
one, you get same.
Same answer.
अच्छा manager वाला मैंने छोड़ दिया.
Because anyhow we are fitting it into the regression equation. So it doesn't matter.
Either is zero. or-
So
No.
can you show the formula for manager one more?
Same metro just
Manager, same. And here if you mistype the manager spelling again, there is a possibility of getting wrong.
Getting a wrong answer. Easy है.
Now copy all these values and go to a new tab and paste as values. Paste as values. Again, write down in your notebook what most of the students do is they go here and they just simply delete this non-numerical data and they start doing the regression. But it's not advisable because sometimes when you get the answer wrong, you have to go back and you have to correct your formulas. So that's why you need to have data in one sheet and formulas in the other sheet.
Done, sir.
Done?
Yeah.
Now you are supposed to delete this particular column called serial number. Yeah. Add 2 blank rows and also add 2 blank columns.
Okay, we need to add 2 blank columns.
Two blank columns and rows.
Yes, sir.
I hope everyone has data analysis tool pack.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Click here. Click on regression. Click OK.
Yeah.
On regression, okay.
Okay, wait. Before going to this, you are supposed to delete all the non-numerical data. What is the non-numerical data here?
The manager.
College
role,
is non-numerical.
city type.
Then role is non-numerical.
Yeah. But if you don't paste values and if you delete, then you don't get the correct answer.
We'll only get numbers.
So here, what is this one called? What is the heading for this?
Role.
Role. Next one
City
is
type. City type.
first is city type or role?
First is role.
Next is city type.
Yeah.
City. Okay. Everyone should get this data, which is the raw data.
Okay, we need college color names. We
So
need
your
to remember.
CC1, CC2 are basically tier 1 and tier 2.
College
No,
code.
it's a
College
combination
code 1,
of-
college
it's a
code 2.
package. It's not. It doesn't have any significance individually. Now go to data analysis tab.
1 second.
Did you put it? Did you copy it in the value format? So you copy it, paste it in the 1 to 3 days with Chotu Sa 1 to 3 value format.
Yes, sir.
Go to regression.
Yes, sir.
Sir, 1 minute. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Click
Data
OK.
analyst.
Now tell me here, what is the dependent variable y? You studied in Shuklas's class. What is the dependent variable? And what are the independent variables?
So depending on is valid.
Which are the predictors here? Based on your normal conventional wisdom.
College code.
Everything is a predictor. Because if you are placed in Bombay, your salary will of course differ as opposed to you getting placed in Bombay. And previous job changes also will have a negative impact. Like if someone is a job hopper, like 7 to 8 times, it will have a negative impact. Then graduation percentage and experience, everything has a impact. Now what should be there in input by range? CTC. Control shift down arrow. Okay? Done? Y should be CTC. Click on CTC and then shift control shift down arrow.
Sir,
Ah.
after pasting the data as values, what did we do? You
Okay.
were supposed to add on.
Wait. Click on data analysis.
Like, did we delete anything?
We deleted all the non-numerical.
But maybe we have a heading to non-numerical.
सर मेरे में कल भी डाटा एनालिटिक्स को पार्ट ऐड किया था, आज भी नहीं शो कर रहा है। कल दिखाने लगा था ऐड करने के बाद आज नहीं कर रहा। अलग ही खेल चल रहा है सर।
डेटा में जा, डेटा
में जाके ही कर रही हूँ।
राइट साइड कॉर्नर में होगा।
Okay, law students are by default communists. Where is data? है ना?
ओके सर नहीं था।
Input range is CTC. Click on CTC and click Control Shift down arrow.
So because Y is dependent variable, so CTC is dependent.
So what is independent variable?
All are independent variables. So now go to input X range और यहाँ से यहाँ तक क्लिक करो and do Control Shift
डाउन
down arrow. Control Shift down arrow.
X range is
हाँ
कहाँ तक? ग्रेजुएशन मार्क, एक्सपेक्टेड मार्क,
expected नहीं है, experience.
हाँ एक्सपीरियंस,
sir,
सॉरी।
X range is everything.
Apart from CTC.
Everything is
The labels on.
Now label should be on because we are already considering labels. In case if you select only data, need not click on labels.
पानी पी
okay, sir.
Click OK. Okay.
Done.
Now this is the regression which you must have seen in Shuklas's class. So in this particular regression, there is some value called R square value. If you see here, 0.6 is the R square value. What do you mean by R square value?
That's 60% of the variation in CTC is explained by
Yeah.
Dependent value.
So the dependent variable called CTC, 60% of variance in CTC is explained by independent variables which are listed there. And there are some latent variables which are there which are explaining the rest 40%, but 60% is something which is trying to explain. What can be the latent variables in this case? Maybe job demand, the interview performance, or maybe the labor market demand. There can be some other reasons which determine the rest 40% variance. But 60% of the variance is determined by these values. So now let us go to the coefficients. In childhood, you must have studied a equation called y is equal to mx plus c. So this equation, if you see y is equal to mx plus c, so in coordinate geometry, we studied an equation called y is equal to mx plus c, where c is the, what is the value of c called? C is the intercept. C is equal to intercept. M is the slope. M is the slope, and if you keep y as 0, x will be minus c by m, and if you keep y as 0, then x is minus c by m, and if you keep x as 0, y will be c. So this will be 0 comma c. So this is the normal equation called y is equal to mx plus c, where c is the intercept. But let us take an example called the relationship between the agricultural yield in Kerala and the rainfall. But when you take an equation of that sort, unlike in our childhood, it will not be a straight line, it will be like some dots. For example, in 2011, this is the rainfall and the agricultural yield is this. And in 2015, it will be like this. So unlike in our childhood, in real time, the data will be scattered like this. And we will be fitting a line which is nearest to all these points. And this particular line is called regression line. And here the regression line is what? Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x. Same, y is equal to mx plus c. So here again, this particular value is beta naught because this is x inter y intercept, and this particular value will be minus c by m or whatever it is. Okay. So this is the way how we generally come to a regression line. But in our case, we have multiple independent variables. And what are the multiple independent variables? x12, x7 or x8. And we are predicting the value of y. Now, anytime whenever you are having a value which is greater than 2 for t, that particular value is called as significant value. Now you will be doing your research project in the upcoming days. Whenever you are having a p value less than 0.05, it is called as significant. And whenever you are having difficulty in looking at p value, you should always look at a much simpler value called t. T is much easier to observe. So jahan pe t value is greater than 2, mark them in yellow. Yellow, again yahan pe yellow. T stat. जहाँ पे t का वैल्यू 2 से ज़्यादा है वो सबको yellow में मार्क करो. Roll is also this. CC1.
Can you close that so we can see your screen?
Okay.
The entire thing you want us to mark it in yellow?
No. Only when t value is greater than 2. See, here the p value is less than how much? P value is 0.17, which is not significant. Here the value is how much? 0.87, not significant. Here the value is 0.08. But these values are tough to interpret because these are e power something. So instead, I am looking at the value called t.
Yeah, more than 2, then you mark it.
Okay. Now copy paste all these values.
So just can you
Yeah. My next class, please ensure that everyone has a mouse because going forward, logistic regressions and
Sir.
SPSS,
For roll,
it's tough to manage with this mouse pad.
sir, for roll and all you've selected it is 4 e power 199
Oh.
p value.
Oh, so what?
That is less than
Everyone done till this point?
Yes,
Now copy all these values.
copy what?
Copy. Go to this, what is that sheet name called? Sheet 3, yahan pe. Click here on the cell which is called, what is the cell? B2. Right click, paste, transpose.
which value sir you should copy?
Coefficients.
Coefficients.
Highlighted things.
Yeah. Only no, entire thing. Starting from
Okay, Control Z, right click and click transpose. Okay.
On the second line.
Second line.
Yes, sir. Done.
प्रगति
Yes.
कहाँ तक का है?
Done.
Done? Now here, go to this particular value called CTC. L3. Go to L3. L4. Go to L4. Right is equal to. Here we are replicating the equation called y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. Okay? So we are replicating the equation y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. So everyone please first open your notebooks and write down that formula. Y is equal to so this is the regression equation. Regression equation y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 so on beta n xn. Beta 1 x1 beta 2 x2 beta n xn. How many of you are aware of the function in Excel called sum product?
But some product will also.
It will work. So now let's start. Is equal to, write down beta naught plus, which is 32438 plus sum product of, oh, done, beta naught plus sum product of, done, sum product of यहाँ से यहाँ तक, कामा, यहाँ से यहाँ तक.
But we keep the constant log.
We have to freeze the cells. So everyone should get some value which is around 86,000, and this will differ because people.
Sir knows I have to have a
86 122.
So you want me to repeat the sum product one?
Sir, can you show the formula?
Formula.
Some product product open bracket. Select from 46592 this value, comma.
वहाँ नहीं है.
Select from 1 to
इसके बाद
90.
71
Close.
is equal to वो कहाँ है? Regression equation. Yeah, just
This 1 to 90.
you will go to that one, data analysis. Click on data. Data.
Why you enter right?
Okay. Regression. Okay. Then CC. Press control to down arrow. Okay. See.
B6 you are calling, we got B2.
341. Yeah, okay. Population range must have the same number of rows regardless of labels. Okay. And there is a mismatch between your labels. Cancel. So 341. Oh, see. Where's my spreadsheet? What did you do at 000? Okay. तो भी यहाँ पे जाओ.
Okay, now I got it.
Recreation. Okay. Okay. The expression was यहाँ पे simply write 341. Click it. We got the values. Once we got the values, copy paste these things. Control C. Go to यहाँ पे करना है. यहाँ पे इंसर्ट दो. V.
So it's showing from 3, it's already there.
It's already there. So next, यहाँ पे
Transport is written from the home.
okay, do transpose. So everyone done till which point? कहाँ तक किया?
The 32,438 value.
Ah, so now you cannot drag this down because if you drag it down, the second cell, let us say if I drag it down, what will happen? See, if you drag it down, this value becomes 0 because here this particular values are populating. So instead, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to freeze the first entire row. So how do you freeze it? C के पहले $1 और 2 के पहले $1.
Function F4.
You can also write that function F4.
Sir,
Yes,
in that equation, what is that 32,438 called?
that's the intercept, beta naught. Now drag it down.
Sir, so equation is beta naught x naught. Beta naught x.
Beta naught plus beta 1 x 1.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can you show us the first?
The formula is this.
We don't have to freeze it for C4J4.
No, if you freeze it for C4, J4, then the variable x will be constant. That variable has to, for first this row, this column, this row should populate. For this one, this row should populate. But this cannot change because these are constants. Now it's time for challenge. Let us see how many of you, everyone got these values till here? So the final question which will be asked in the exam will be of this sort. Write down the question and let us see how many of you will answer this. So the incentive for this answer today will be 0.5 marks. Yeah? Because 3 marks I cannot give every time. No? So write down the question. Find the CTC of a person who is passed out of IIT Bombay.
Excel or normal?
This one only. Find the CTC of a person who is passed out of IIT Bombay in 2019 June. He-
out of IIT Bombay.
In 2019 June.
I've already done that.
Can you click on the form one? No. Mother
IIT Bombay is 9.1%.
Now, this person got placed in the month of July 1st. I mean, on July 1st, 2019, he got placed in GVK.
That is also in the question.
Yeah,
Could you repeat that?
he got placed in GVK on 2019 July 1st.
July.
1st. However, GMR considered him as a fresher.
Yeah, GMR is different.
GVK, his past organization, but GMR considered him as a fresher and rolled out an offer on 7th November 2024. His graduation percentage is 59. What is the CTC that GMR is going to?
Graduation percentage?
59.
They considered him as.
So the GMR is located in NCR.
Percentage कितनी है sir?
So,
Percentage.
59.
What is the
Yes,
CTC?
Yes.
So no experience.
So what is the CTC?
What is the expected CTC? Now you have to find.
So you are asking CTC for 2019.
But which role it was not given, sir?
Ah, okay. He's posted as a manager. He's posted as a manager. He's posted as a manager.
Department,
In
sir?
GMR Noida, NCR.
So Noida is a non-banking.
No, NCR. It's a metro city.
Yes sir.
Manager under GVK.
So previous CTC is 0.
Department, sir?
Considering him as a fresher.
Shiva was. Indian management.
Sir, he
Yes.
got placed in GVK as a manager in Noida.
I'm repeating, this person is already working in GVK since 2019, but GMR considered him as a fresher, and today he posted him as a manager in NCR region, and his IIT Bombay percentage is 59.
23775.
23
775.
23775. Let me see what's the answer. So IIT Bombay is a tier 1 college, so the value will be 1,0.
Yes sir.
Here I will write it as 1. The value is 0, and then the value he is posted as
So
a
tier 1, right? So
tier 1 is
metro.
1,0. Then he is posted as a manager, so the value will be 1, and he is posted in metro, again is 1.
For me it's 0.
Okay, whatever it is. Then his previous CTC is 0, and previous job changes are 0.
So job change is 1.
Yeah, job change is 1. Then his BTech percentage is
59.
59.
59, and what is the next column?
Experience 0.
Experience is again 0.
Zero.
So
Manager बोला ना समझ
So 27,885 is the value.
It's close.
Because machine learning doesn't give same values. It differs, but it should be more or less the same.
23775.
last में जो last
So why is it
shift increase drag करना है
Yeah.
Why is it slightly different, like answer?
Because when the cloud is taking your data as well as my data, it differs. It doesn't take. And also the regression coefficients, when they are getting rounded off, you must have selected some decimal values. So those bits and pieces will contribute to the
जो वो
This is the answer.
actually ये वो वाला इसमें करना है वो करना है इसमें करना है
So Muskan gets today's challenge.
So 5.5.
Yesterday Pragati got point.
Yeah, she was.
Just 0.5 for me, sir.
Now, in the same question, if everyone is done,
Check the.
now there is one mistake which we did in this regression model. What is that mistake? Can someone tell me? There is one mistake which we did in this regression model. What is that
In the entire model.
entire model? We did one mistake. What is that mistake? Correct. We considered the beta values which are non-significant as well. Ideally, we should only consider the values which are significant. So, what do I do in that case? I will simply delete this particular column, CC2, which is not having any impact, and then I will delete this one.
Sir, but that depends upon the question, sir, whether to delete that row or not.
Of course, you have to delete.
No, sir, but what if he is from Tier 2 college? Deleting that second row will impact me, sir.
In the model, it's not explaining variation.
Yeah.
Anyway. But sir, usually we rerun the model after deleting also. Like when we eliminate these, we rerun it again.
No, now he has an important. We need not do that. Because it's simply regression equation. No? Now, what Akshay had raised has an important implication. The model says that I don't mind whether you are from Tier 2 or Tier 3, but I mind if you are from Tier 1. Tier 1 I will mind. I don't mind whether you are from Tier 2 or Tier 3. So it has a significant implication.
So we can't delete.
No, that's what. If you are from IIT Bombay, you will have an impact. But whether you are from Nalsar or whether you are from Bits Pilani, I don't mind, because they both are falling under Tier 2 colleges.
Tier 2 and Tier 2. So, depending upon the question, should we, like, what if the question is a candidate from Nalsar is given? So, should I, and the value for Tier 2 is like showing 0, sorry, negative value. Should I delete that or not?
No, in this particular case, for example, I will give you a question saying that there is a management graduate who passed out from Nalsar University. So, instead of CC1, you should keep 0, that's it.
So, considering that 0 value alone, we can-
Let us say if I give you a question saying that who passed out from Tier 3 college, still you will keep it as 0. Tier 2 also you will keep it as 0.
So, Tier 2 and 3 we are not considering.
There is no, the model is not actually distinguishing between any graduate who is passing out from Tier 2 and Tier 3 colleges. Now,
And experience also we are not considering.
yeah, experience also it doesn't matter.
Graduation and previous job.
But CTC is having an impact. Previous job changes also.
We are not considering, that is a
Yeah.
negative value.
Experience matters.
Yeah, experience matters, but previous job changes,
Previous and graduation percentage we are not considering.
they are not having any impact. Did you see any change in the values, Muskar, in the final answer?
Mine was 40. No, I did not change.
So for me
So,
it's 4347.
So let's see what is the change in the final answer. Initially she got a value called 45,000. Now let us see what is the answer.
40,000.
40,000. So there is just 5,000 difference.
What makes the difference?
I'm getting the same as what.
Now, in the exam you will also have questions which are based on logistic regression. Here the dependent variable is something called CTC, which is a numerical. But if it is binary, then we will use logistic regression. So for logistic regression, everyone should have SPSS. So in the next class, we will be doing questions which are based on logistic regression. So from now onwards, it will be a complete steep curve where the complexity will be much higher. And the chances of committing mistakes will be far higher.